Terrorists have long had an interest in using chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear agents, or CBRN, in their attacks. In fact, tomorrow marks the 20th anniversary of the sarin gas attacks on the Tokyo subway, which killed 12 and injured roughly 5,500 people. In the 113th Congress, this subcommittee, led by my colleague Susan Brooks and Ranking Member Payne, spent considerable time examining the CBRN threat and particularly the biological aspect of this threat. This morning, we're going to build on that work and consider the threat posed using chemical attacks, or chemical agents in attacks. We find ourselves at a pivotal time in our fight against terrorists around the world. ISIS is better resourced, more brutal, more organized than any terrorist group to date. We're also seeing other al-Qaeda affiliates metastasizing around the globe, inspiring individuals to join through social media and other means and traveling to get the training that they need. We know that given the opportunity, terrorists will acquire and use military-grade chemical weapons or other chemical agents in their attacks. In fact, earlier this year, CENTCOM reported that a coalition airstrike killed ISIS's chemical weapons expert. Reports have also indicated that ISIS has used chlorine gas in their attacks just this year. Ranking Member Payne and I are members of the Committee on Homeland Security's newly established Foreign Fighter Task Force. We're particularly focused on the threat to the United States from these individuals who have traveled to Iraq and Syria to train and fight with ISIS, and those that are inspired by their extremist message here at home. We must ensure we work to prevent any attacks on U.S. soil, but we also must be prepared should one occur. A terrorist attack using chemical agents is a low probability but high consequence scenario. A chemical attack could cause mass casualties and significant economic losses, and in light of this, we must be vigilant and ensure our first responders and our medical personnel are ready to respond. In 1995, Shinriko cult used sarin gas, a chemical nerve agent, to attack the subway system in Tokyo. It killed 12 people, as I mentioned, and sent thousands to the hospital with some degree of injury. The same group reportedly carried out an attack in Matsumoto where 7 people were killed and over 200 injured. More recently, attacks in Iraq in 2006 and 2007 using conventional explosive combined with chlorine gas illustrates terrorist interests in deploying commercially available toxic industrial chemicals as weapons. And earlier this week, an individual reportedly mailed a letter to the President containing cyanide. I served numerous deployments in the Middle East and Afghanistan and have nearly 30 years of experience in national security and counterterrorism. As part of this service, I've received extensive training on the impact of chemical agents. I was sharing a little bit with you all earlier. Multiple exercises that we've done in the military to respond to chemical attacks, how we're going to don our personal equipment, how we're going to protect bases, how we're going to respond and continue to operate. So this is what our military does really on a daily basis as we're exercising around the globe, getting ready for scenarios like this. But today, we want to see what we can do in order to protect the rest of our country, to make sure that we're ready to respond and we can operate and be able to save lives and not have significant negative impacts of a chemical attack here on the homeland. So I'm very interested in this topic. We're joined today by a panel of distinguished witnesses from the medical and first responder communities. I'm interested in your perspectives on the current threat to the United States of chemical terrorism, the steps that federal, state, and local partners are taking to address this threat, and whether the federal government has provided sufficient guidance and information to state and local officials on how to respond to a chemical terrorist event. With that, I welcome our witnesses here today. I look forward to our discussion. The Chair now recognizes the gentlelady from New Jersey, Mrs. Watson-Coleman, for any opening statement.